Hi, everyone. I'm Bo, and I'm excited to share with you what I've learned about my cultural background and how it influences my perspective, especially when working with people from other cultures. Growing up in the United States, I was raised in a culturally diverse environment, which shaped a lot of my worldview. I was educated in a system that emphasized individualism, direct communication, and a strong work ethic. My strong background is largely influenced by Western values, but I've always had an interest in understanding and connecting with people from other cultures, um, especially with communication. Taking the cultural profile test by Aaron Meyer helped me see that I fall in the low context end of the communication spectrum, which is common for Americans. I tend to prefer clear, explicit communication where everything is stated directly and left little to interpretation. This can be great for efficiency, but I realize that in high context cultures like China or India, this might come across as blunt or overly simplistic. This is something I'll need to adjust if I want to continue building relationships with people from these cultures. Um, so, with evaluating, when it comes to giving and receiving feedback, I lean toward a more direct style, which is typical of low context cultures. This means I appreciate straightforward criticism. However, this could be a challenge when working with people from cultures where indirect feedback is the norm, as it could be seen as too harsh or confrontational. Trusting and building relationships. One of the most eye opening parts of the test was understanding how trust is built differently across cultures. In the US, trust is often task based. You trust people based on their competence and ability to deliver results. But in relationship based cultures like in Brazil or China, trust is built more through personal relationships and shared experiences. I realized that in order to work effectively in those environments, I'll need to invest more time in getting to know my colleagues on a personal level. When it comes to disagreeing, another insight was around confrontation and disagreement is that in my culture, open debate and even disagreement are seen as healthy for decision making, which reflects a more confrontational approach. But in cultures like Japan or Indonesia, often disagreement can be seen as disrespectful and might harm relationships. So when working with international teams, I'll need to be more cautious in expressing my disagreements. When it comes to scheduling and being on time, I come from a very linear, monochronic culture where being on time and following a schedule is important. But I've learned that in many parts of the world, like Italy or Brazil, for instance, time is viewed more flexible, and relationships often take precedence over rigid schedules, um, which was also very interesting to learn about. So, just to close, overall, this test has given me a deeper understanding of how my own cultural background impacts my perspective and my behavior. It's clear that while I may work well in cultures similar to my own, I will need to be more adaptable and open minded, um, especially when interacting with people from high context, relationship based, or flexible time cultures. This has both just been an exciting opportunity and a challenge, so I'm looking forward to going through this experience. Thank you guys all for listening in on my discussion post.